Yeah, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and a great break. I know our guys really enjoyed the time away with family, and just a chance to sit back and rest their bodies and minds and reset here for a difficult opponent and a playoff run, hopefully. I know we're really excited to be hosting again, and even more thrilled that it's a ESPN national broadcast game, and the first time that's ever happened here for football at home. So, we're really working really hard. I know the administration is doing a great job with Rocco and Danielle and Flush and everybody trying to promote this and get as many people to show up to the game. I know ASUCD's putting great efforts in to help students in regards to getting to the game, and so I think everyone's pulling their weight right now, and we're all hopeful that we can have a great crowd and represent UC Davis on the national spotlight and show how great this university is and how great this program is, and it's a great opportunity that I know we're all really looking forward to. And then obviously at this point, 16 teams left. Every opponent's going to be super talented and really well coached, and that's the case with Rhode Island. And they've had a great season, had a great home win this past weekend, and I know they're going to give us everything we can handle. So as a guy that was on the coaches poll all year, I watched Rhode Island throughout the season and had them ranked near or in the top 10 the entire season. So I know they're a really good football team and should be a great game, great atmosphere, and we're really looking forward to a really difficult challenge. But it was great to have a break and good to be back at football, and we're getting ready to go. Well, I think the first thing is, we're the host team, but it's an NCAA event that, from a playoff standpoint, so it's a little bit different in regards to ticket pricing and how that all goes out, charging students for tickets. And so we were able to rally with our alumni and donors, and then also campus to be able to handle that for our students, so they're not going to have to pay for tickets. So hopefully we can continue to spread the word around campus. I know campus is doing a great job of that right now. And hopefully we got a great student turnout. That's the first thing. And then, again, the later kickoff historically has helped us in regards to getting more people to show up. I know our last day of class is the Friday before the game, this Friday. And so I know people are going to be studying for finals, but hopefully the later kick allows everyone to feel like they got everything done for the day and they can come enjoy football with us. So weather's going to be great. But I know Danielle with marketing and Rocco and Flush are spreading the word, and I know I've done a couple of video hits and things to try to get stuff out there. So just trying to spread the word as much as we can to get people out to the game, and hopefully we got a great student turnout and the community comes out. I know last year the one group that showed up big was our alumni, so I know I expect a huge turnout of former players to be there to support the guys. So hopefully it's a great crowd. We've broke record numbers this year for our home attendance and tickets sold, and I think Danielle and her staff and the administration deserve a huge pat on the back for that, and we're growing, we're getting there. This will be a great test to see how far we've come, and hopefully we've improved from a year ago. And as a football program, as we've talked about, our job is to keep playing well enough so we can have these games, and year after year of making this more of a yearly thing that people are expecting, and so they can plan ahead for that, and hopefully that shows a better crowd this year. Yeah, I think you look at the Big Sky Conference, you're talking about some great teams and obviously great players as I'm going through the list and voting myself, and you can't vote for your own guys, and you're trying to pick between 5, 6, 7 guys for 1 or 2 spots. That's how talented the conference is. So the fact that we have that many guys represented is just shows the growth of our program. A couple of things that stand out to me was, Jacob Syke was a unanimous first-team selection. I think there was only 2 unanimous first-teamers on the entire list, and he was one of them. So I think that speaks to just the season he had and the impact he's had for our team. And, Sam being a first-teamer in a really stacked wide receiver group of great players, I think he deserves that and had a stellar year. Eli Simonson, the offensive line guys don't get mentioned as much, but for what Eli's been through and the growth he's had as a person and player, he really is a dominant player up front for us and has been all year. Really proud of him. Ian Simpson, think about how far he's come. We lose our first-team All-American tight end, and all we do is have our other first-team All-American tight end. So I think Coach Chapetti and Coach Satterley, what they've done with the tight end group to be able to have that much depth We all know how important Mitch Dixon is to the team. I think that speaks to that position group. Tico on the defensive side as well, just the impact he's had as a transfer. So those guys defensively, I think those are the things that stand out to me. And you got guys that have been here for a long time, a few of the graduate guys that have come in, and a number of guys in second team and honorable mention. And then for Caden to get, freshman of the year, I know he's got a chance to get the Jerry Rice Award too, and there's some great freshmen obviously that have played. But the Big Sky's got great quarterbacks littered throughout the conference, and again, for him to be recognized for the year that he's had, again, he's completing 75% of his passes. He leads the conference in touchdowns. He leads the conference in completion percentage, quarterback rating. I mean, all these things are pretty impressive for a guy at his age. So he deserves a lot of congratulations for that. And again, if you put in the hard work, everyone's going to eat from that. And again, for all our guys to be recognized is awesome. I think 24 is perfect. I think FCS, if you look at all the levels of football, I think we do it the best. We play our 12 games, and the way they pick the teams. And I thought the committee did a fantastic job of rewarding the top teams and ranking them out. And there's a lot of good football teams at this level. So I think 24 is perfect, and I think the way they do it is perfect with how they seed it, and they've made some adjustments the last few years, and I think it's perfect. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not getting anybody back as of right now. I think there's some outside chances that if we, make a deeper run, you might be able to get the running backs back, Mateo and Carter. I think both have a chance possibly if we, play for another week or two maybe. But other than that, yeah, we kind of have what we have. I think we can only dress 64, I was told today, and good news for us is we don't even have close to that healthy, Bob. So shouldn't have a difficult time filling out the roster. I think the first thing I would say, again, obviously biased, but I think the Big Sky is the best and deepest league in the FCS. I think you can tell by how teams are rewarded and treated in the playoff committees and those kind of things with the type of teams that we play. Yeah, but looking at the teams that Rhode Island's played all year, I mean, again, you got some talented football teams, other teams that are in the tournament, and they got a deep conference. There's a lot of teams in this conference. I didn't realize how many teams are in the conference. So similar to the Big Sky, they don't play everybody. So sometimes it depends on who you play and when you play them. But I think talent-wise, they got players up and down the roster, skill guys up front that are difficult players to defend and difficult players to attack. So I think they've earned the ranking they have for sure. And they 10-2 for a reason. They're a good football team. Yeah, I think offensively, their quarterback jumps off the screen, just a good player, extends plays, obviously knows where to go with the football. He's well coached. Ball gets out of his hand, and he's got a bunch of skill guys on the perimeter that are good players, guys that cause some serious problems, good size and speed, great awareness. They go up and make tough catches. I think the running backs are really talented. So I think it starts with their quarterback, and then he's got a bunch of guys around him that are really good football players. I think offensively they cause a lot of problems that way. Defensively, I know their defensive end, number 8's a great player, and I think they do a good job defensively of just, a lot of pressure looks, a lot of different front looks. I think they keep you off balance, make the quarterbacks uncomfortable, and they do a great job mixing up, where they're bringing their pressures from, do a good job disguising what they're doing. So I think a lot of really good coaching going on there and some talented players on both ends. Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone had their debates about the Ivy League and whether they deserve, to have that. And I think initially it wasn't looking great, but I think the first game that stands out is just Yale and the comeback they had against a really good team and winning on the road. And so I think that's a feather in the cap of the Ivy League that, they deserve to be in the tournament, and they beat a Missouri Valley team, which we all know how good that conference is. I think looking at some of the other games, I mean, South Dakota State, getting their quarterback healthy, and what that means for them as a team, and how difficult of an opponent they can be, obviously, with their history. Illinois State, I know it's considered an upset over CLA, but I think we know Illinois State's been a good team all year, and North Dakota, technically an upset over Tennessee Tech, but we know how good that team is. So I think the Missouri Valley teams played really well, as you would expect. And I think the Yale win probably stands out just for all of us sitting back wondering how the Ivy League teams would perform, and I think that's a big win for them. Yeah, we feel great about the class we have. I don't really look at the rankings or anything like that, but man, we feel like it's the most talented group we've gotten in a long time. Really excited to be able to talk about those guys freely and hype them up, but I know we're really excited about the class, and the communication's been great with those guys, expecting everyone to be on board on Wednesday and for us to be able to celebrate those and the coaches for all the hard work they've done and getting a great class. Had a chance to sit down with a lot of our guys on the team this year, and obviously we have a lot of talented players that are going to be getting hit up to make decisions, but I know we're really excited about the conversations we had and expect most of those guys to be able to come back. I know two that we can share is that Grant Gerritsen is going to return, which we're really excited about that, and Sam Batu has decided to return for another year and play here, which is exciting, and I think again shows our environment and the culture that we create here and the support that these players feel. Sometimes that's more valued than the money they can receive, and I think if we can continue to create a great environment for these kids, whether that be through nutrition, strength and conditioning, how we coach them as a football team, developing a winning product, filling in the stadium for the home games, competing for championships, and continuing to raise the funds that can help these guys out financially, I think we'll find more of our guys choosing to stay than leave, and I think that's a positive for the future of our program, and I'm excited about that. So hopefully we get some good news on some of the other guys. I know some guys got decisions to make as the year ends, but all those conversations were really positive, and excited that Grant and Sam are coming back, and hopefully got a few more guys like that. Yeah, I think you got to give yourself some flexibility. We're always going to start with the foundation of recruiting high school players. We have a large class of high school players that will be coming in with this class that we're really excited about. And that's the foundation and the bloodline of our team, is we're going to try to build and bring in, 20-some-odd high school guys every year that we can develop and build throughout our program. And then you really got to look at it from a puzzle standpoint of you got these older guys that, might get years back because of injuries. You got the twins and Winston, and some guys that fall into that category of, like Grant, where it's like, hey, they could graduate, they could leave, they could come back. You got to have the flexibility to be able to give those guys an opportunity to come back if they want to, and we hope they all do. And then you got, once that gets settled, so you find out who's coming back, get all your high school guys signed, then you sit back and say, okay, where are the areas where, we don't have enough depth or we don't have enough experience, and that's where our coaches will go to work and start to look at some older guys that we can bring in that would be able to help bridge the gap, whether we have too much youth in one position, or bridge the gap because we just don't have enough players at that position. And so again, our staff's done a great job of locating those guys, and I'm sure once we get that number out, in January window hits, we'll know, hey, we need these 3-4 positions to get filled, and we'll start looking at guys for those spots. And hopefully, we've shown to guys that are looking for a home that, man, David Meyer and Jacob Syke and Tico and Ruchina are all great examples of this is a great place to come play a year or two and try to win a championship and play some good football, and a great place that really cares about you and develops you. So hopefully we keep building a good reputation to be able to grab several of those guys every year that can help fill in the gaps that we need. I mean, I think our assistant coaches are super talented, and I know sometimes the move at some of these jobs is to go get, maybe a more experienced, older, big name guy that can help. But, man, I've been telling anyone that'll listen that the coaches in this conference are extremely talented. A lot of them are young and hungry guys that, can be coordinators or head coaches, whenever they're given the opportunity. So if anyone was to reach out to me, I think they'd hear glowing remarks for guys like Matt Coombs and what he's meant to this program. I don't want Matt and any of these guys to leave, but I think Matt would be a tremendous head coach in the Big Sky if given the opportunity. just like I think he could be a coordinator at a Power 4 school when given the opportunity. But we got some position coaches that could be coordinators too, guys like Evan Hicks and Austin Taylor and Jerry Brady on the defensive side of the ball that could step in and do that right now, and guys on the offensive side like Mike Cody, who's already done that, and so I think we got great young coaches that if they're given the opportunity, I think they do a great job. But I also think historically, just like the players, guys don't leave Davis. They love coaching here. They love the environment. They like being dads, and same thing we were talking about before with the players. If we continue to do a good job of raising the funds and helping take care of these guys financially and helping make this environment great for them, I think you'll hold on to this staff for a long time like we've done. That's why these guys stay, longer than most. But always a bummer to see guys, lose their jobs. But I think any Big Sky head coaching job is a really great opportunity.